Good evening, race fans, and welcome to the Kohr Racing Network. Tonight, we got live coverage of the season finale for the YESCAR Truck Series, and we head to, quite honestly, it should still be the finale track for NASCAR and NOS Series, the beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway. And this is, I love this track myself. I like the idea that you kind of can run multiple lines in these corners. You can pull off slide jobs. You can do a lot of different things here at this track compared to Phoenix, the current finale for NASCAR. It's weak. I'm sorry to all the Phoenix lovers out there. I'm sorry to people living out in Phoenix and Arizona. I'm sorry, but this is where it needs to be, and I'm happy to see that the YESCAR Truck Series is going to finish off here. Championship already decided, and it was Tyler Halsell doing absolutely exactly what he needed to do last week to clinch the playoff championship here for the YESCAR Truck Series. Obviously, as we talked to him last week, not in attendance here tonight, so this race is up for grabs. But what is also up for grabs is a lot of different points paying positions. Second place in the standings still up for grabs, and really a lot of different things can still play out in this season for sure. We'll show the point standings here in a bit. Carlin, we're joined in the booth by Joe Sullivan. Joe, we are going to wrap it up here tonight, the 16th and final race of the YESCAR Truck Series.
Yeah, we got 100 laps on tap here tonight at Homestead. Like you said, a track that has, gained a lot of attention here last couple of years, and a track that's really racy. And like you said, multiple lines can be used here, and just a real racy track. And if you're going to finish a season and have a finale, I mean, this is the kind of track you want, and kind of racing you want to kind of settle it out there on the track. You don't want a track where it's follow the leader type of stuff, or it's hard to pass. But multiple lines here tonight, and still a lot to be handled in the point standings here too.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and bring in the man behind the curtains here in the YESCAR Truck Series. Hopefully, you can get a copy on him, Joe. You might need to ping him within the race chat here just to see if we can get him up here, because it looks like he has everything closed off here. But we'll talk to him here in a second. While you wait for him, we'll go ahead and bring up the championship standings that we just recently discussed, with Tyler Halsell getting it done this season. But as it just decided to move off screen, let's try and go ahead and move that so everybody can see actual point standings. There we go. And it is Tyler Halsell going to be your champion for the playoffs here. But as you see, Francisco Villarreal a 6-point lead over Chris Gutierrez. Jonathan Tuckness another 4 points back, and David Duke in the top 5 there. And really, all those top 5 still have a mathematical chance to sneak all the way up there and grab a second place here in the playoff rounds here. And it's been a fun round of playoffs, and definitely some shake-ups, some stir-ups, and it was kind of up and down for Tyler Halsell. What he did just enough to get it done here this season. Still trying to get Big Duke in here. Hopefully we can talk to him before this race gets going. But Joe, I mean, kind of putting a wrap on this season here for the YESCAR Truck Series. It's been fun. It's been wild, and we definitely had some races that were caution-filled, but a lot of those end up putting on some great finishes.
Yeah, we had some really good races. I mean, some really good finishes. Go back and watch some of these finishes that we had here this season, and some really good close finishes. Some really good, strategy being played in a couple races. Some green light checkers. This season pretty much had it all, right? The first season, a lot of ups and downs, but some really good finishes. Just the way we started the playoffs there at Michigan. That finish, and then just going down the line there, just some really good racing here, and I'm ready to finish it here at Homestead, and I'm sure they're going to put on another show here tonight.
We take a look at the weather here tonight, and it's not as scorching hot as some of the races that we've seen so far this year. I think we tapped out at some 130s this season, so it was kind of crazy. We'll see some of the guys out there getting some warm-up laps in before this race starts. But a nice, cool 73 degrees outside, and it is 81 degrees on the track. Overcast, as you see, a little bit cloudy, and maybe a little fog going to roll in at some point. But it's not going to put a damper on this final race of the season. Again, I'm looking forward to it. I'm a big fan of Homestead Miami, especially for the season finale. But we are ready to get this thing underway, and we will we'll see if we can bring Big Duke in. Maybe we can get him after the race here as well. We'll go ahead and drop him down for now. But let's go ahead and take a look at the starting lineup for tonight's race. And there we go. Starting on the pole is going to be iTuckles with 32.476. Big Duke in second. Francisco Villarreal, Chris Gutierrez, Tyler Bryan, your top 5. Matthew Hott, Captain Killam, Kyle Wilson, Charles Abert and Austin Smith for your top 10. And you got Scott Gilroy, Robert Knox, Paul Lawson, Vincent Pagano, Maxwell Shade, and Michael Funkhauser for your 16-car, or should I say, truck field here tonight. So,
yeah, one last word on a fuel run either. So we got let's see. I mean, 100 laps here is going to be, I mean, a little bit more than we've been doing all season. But I mean, we usually been doing about 3 pit stops. I mean, I definitely we're probably going to be doing more than that here tonight.
Yeah, I tend to think so too. I think it's going to be one that's filled with pit stops here tonight, which is a good thing. It mixes it up a little bit. You know, pit stops certainly bring a little chaos for sure, and you know, whether it's under yellow or under green, we've seen varying strategies happen all throughout these races, and I would expect nothing less here for the finale. Looks like iTuckles had the pole, but it looks like he is maybe going to be dropping to the back of the field here, and maybe going to do a little back to front. He kind of did that last week, starting from the pits, and worked out almost to a T. Almost got all the way up to the front after nearly going a lap down at one point. So looks like we could have Francisco Villarreal going to be starting on the pole of this thing. As you see, the pace truck lights are out. Looks like we're going to get going green right away. See if he makes that left-hand turn, and indeed he does. So he is in the pits. It is time
green flag.
For one more green flag here in the YESCAR Truck Series. Start by all the drivers heading into turn number 1. And I mean, not but a heck of a save right there from Gutierrez. Wow. We'll take a look back at that and relive that one more time. I don't think Gutierrez wants to, but a great save for sure.
Yeah, that thing pointed sideways. Surprised the caution didn't come out how sideways he was there. But he was able to keep it. Oh, get him loose! Gilroy down! Just keeps it off the wall.
Just maybe tap the wall just a little bit, but otherwise keeps it going, and it is Big Duke that is going to grab the early lead here. Try and take a look back and see where Gutierrez may have went wrong in this thing.
Old tires, and this is an 82 track temp, so relatively cold
just
track too.
wow,
Ooh, yeah.
Just immediately getting loose on him, and
Matthew Hott as well. Looks like.
Try to take a look at that one more time here. I mean, that thing just stepped right out on him, didn't waste any time. I mean, it's not like he was really on a seam or anything like that. It just, we hit a little bump or something like that. And you see the 17 diving down to the bottom, trying to stay out of it. Both of them are going to lose a bunch of positions. But bring it back to the front here. A Big Duke leading the way. Good start by all the drivers.
Yeah.
3 wide as Villarreal to the top. Captain Killam is in second right now. So this is the battle for third. Looks like Tyler Bryan's going to clear Villarreal. He's got a different paint scheme on there tonight.
Yeah, and I wonder if he's just going to be playing points racing here tonight. I mean, he comes in here second. I mean, even if he got the pole in 1, he would just tie Tyler, and then Tyler would win the championship for the wins. But so he just has to finish so many spots in front of Chris and to secure the second place here in points. So I wonder if he's just going to be point racing here tonight and not really be worried about going for the win or anything else here tonight, but just worrying about that points championship.
This is on lap number 3. We had a couple trucks getting involved.
Wow.
Vincent Pagano and Paul Lawson. Both of them ended up coming into the pits and have not been out on the track once again. As you see, they're already a lap down, about to go 2 laps down. as it looks like they may be coming out of the pits now. You got 2 laps down. That leaves us with 14 on the lead lap. They're all being led by Big Duke as he tries to bookend the season. Your winner in the first race of the season at Daytona, looking to, I guess, take the Florida sweep here.
Yeah, he had a chance to win Michigan there to try to open the playoffs with the win. Looked a little strong in that race. And really has been pretty strong here all season long. Just haven't got the results that I think he'd want. But he's showed, I mean, plenty of speed here all season long at every different track we've been to.
Jump on board here with Big Duke and take you on a little lap around beautiful Homestead Miami Speedway. And you see these guys using this bottom line. At least a lot of the leaders using this bottom line through 3 and 4. I mean, typically, you know, I'm used to kind of holding that thing wide open and running, you know, middle or the top, or maybe kind of like, you know, a little bit of a slider line going through 3 and 4. But it seems like it's really a bottom feeding track right now.
Yeah, I think that's. I mean, they're here early on, get these tires warmed up and everything. Yeah, I mean, as the run goes on, you'll probably see these guys jump to the top. I got too many laps in with these trucks here at this track since all these new updates and stuff. I have been getting some laps in here with the next gen, but it's kind of pretty similar to the way you were talking there. The bottom is fast, but it seems like the top is just as fast, but you can be able to hold people off with that run that you get off the top. I mean, the run that you can carry through the turns there and just keep that going down the straightaways. Somebody underneath on the bottom just can't quite clear you unless they really just do a slider, like you said.
Yeah, you see right there with Austin Smith running that top line, Matthew Hyde on the bottom, and Austin Smith just really gapped him on that backstretch with a huge run. Take a look at the progression here for the 94, all the way up into 6th place currently as he just made the pass on Charles Abert, moving to 6th, and now hunting down that top 5. He's got Kyle Wilson right in front of him. And there you get another example of 47, just running a little bit higher line and really getting the run off the corners here. Remember, Gutierrez started up there in 4th and had the immediate slide in turn number 1. Fell way back there. Tuckles deciding to go to the back, or maybe he got a penalty and got sent to the back. Either way, he started from the rear of this field after getting the pole. So both these drivers have top 5 potential, but they're having to work their way through the field here early.
Yeah, pretty much. You may see these guys kind of stagger their runs here and run the top and then run the bottom, because if you're running the bottom, you're obviously going to use a little bit more of your back front. And then run that top, run that fence, run that Larson line, you're going to be really getting after that right rear. So you probably want to try to stagger the tire wear here. But you kind of have to be smart with it as well. Oh, right there, see Tuckles gets into the fence. That's the downside of running in on that high line, is you have to enter so high. And if you don't get it just right, you're going to get into the wall a little bit and slow your momentum up. But he's able to keep it off the wall pretty decently there and keep it rolling.
Robert Knox back here in 13th and now in 12th, making the pass on Michael Funkhauser Jr. He's got a nice little battle going on here. Really a good-looking truck there for the 76 as well. Take a nice little look at that one as he goes by. And I can't say it enough. I mean, I feel like I say it, you know, every other broadcast about these trucks, but there's so much time that gets put into some of these paints. I mean, like that one right there, I can't imagine that was done in just a few minutes, let alone a few hours. I mean, some of these, it's a labor of love for some of these painters, whether you're going to a professional painter here for iRacing, whether you're doing it yourself. I mean, there's a lot of time that gets put into it, and it's well deserved that they get to showcase it here a little bit.
Yeah, and Robert does his own paints, and I've talked to him a little bit. He just started doing it himself, and just, you know, learn as you go, and to be able to do that, you know, just only you know, I'm not sure how long he's been doing it, probably just a couple months, but to be able to put that kind of paint together in just a couple months, man, that's pretty impressive. You wouldn't want to see my paint if I tried to put one together.
I can paint a base paint with the best of them.
Yeah, I'll just do one solid color.
Yep, that's all you need. As Funkhauser tries to make the pass, gets into the wall there a little bit, going to lose some time. And probably lose the draft here from Robert Knox. The battle brewing up here for the back half of the top 10, and this is Austin Smith in 10th place, Maxwell Shade trying to take it away. Shade is one of the guys making some of the most moves here, up 4 positions already, trying to make it 5 here to get himself into the top 10. Kyle Wilson was passed by iTuckles, and now threatening to lose another position here to Chris Gutierrez, as Gutierrez running that high line, and you see right here, it loses a little bit of ground in the first half of the corner, maybe through the middle of the corner a little bit, but look at the launch off of the corner. If you can bingo that high line, that's where you want to be. I mean, I know I said earlier, a lot of these guys are running that bottom line, but if you can hit that top line, it's going to save you some tire, and man, you get a launch off the corners.
Yeah, that run that you get off the corners is just so massive, especially when these tires get some wear to them and some heat in them. I mean, if you're running that bottom, you have to check up and slow your turns down so much more to try not to over-abuse that right front. Meanwhile, the guy on the top is just, cooking it and rolling that top and getting a good roll and momentum down the backstretch or front stretch here.
Funkhauser closing in once again on the 76, but right now Knox is holding off in 12th. At the front of the field, it is all a big dupe by 1.8 seconds here in the lead. Really kind of checking out from the field here, and one of the biggest gaps that we see in the field. But then from there on back, it's a little bit tighter. Tyler Bryan in second, but here comes Captain Killam running right up on his back bumper in 3rd place. Not too far behind, and looking to the inside here is the 24 of Villarreal. And then just a third of a second behind them, you see iTuckles creeping into the mix already. That is your top 5 here. Chris Gutierrez starting off the 6th place here. Kyle Wilson right behind him, trying to run him back down as Gutierrez gets into the wall a little bit and going to lose a little bit of time. Again, it's like you said, Joe, that's the other threat that you have, getting up high and scraping that wall. It can do some damage to your truck, and all that good work can get thrown right away.
Yeah, it's kind of a balancing act that you have to do. And if you can, you can touch it and be just fine. It's just where you need to get kind of stuck to it and bleed. A little bit of a touch won't be too much, but it's when you get stuck to it, and that's really going to slow you down. They've after Morrisville a couple years ago, iRacing really made sure that these cars and trucks, if they did get into the wall, that they were like glued there, and you couldn't really just do some wall riding.
Well, one thing that's good is they're nothing like the 87s when they came out, and there was no worry about getting glued to the wall with the 87s. You were worried about exploding off the wall. There was something that was going on with the 87 NASCARs when they brought them to iRacing, and I mean, if you made the mistake of getting into the wall a little bit, it's like the tire just launched off of it. It just shot you right off of that wall. And you had no chance of saving it. It was literally like an explosion off the wall. But they got that cleared up, and you see these trucks just kind of sliding off the wall a little bit here. But sliding away, 2.1 seconds right now in the lead is a Big Duke trying to capitalize on the final race of the season. But we got some pit stops here.
Ooh.
First round of pit stops here on lap 22, so not making it to that quarter-way mark. So are we going to see an extra set of pit stops for some of these guys, or do we have some guys that can stretch it to that 25 lap mark?
That's what I was just kind of ready to bring up there. We're getting to that 25 lap mark, and that's, like you said, a quarter of the way, and that'd be a good indicator of how many stops we're going to have here, or what our fuel run is going to be looking like.
Quite a few drivers in that last lap. iTuckles, Chris Gutierrez, Kyle Wilson, Austin Smith, Robert Knox, and now you're seeing some of the leaders.
Captain Killam, Francisco, spun on the front stretch.
No caution is out, and it looks like he's going to go backwards to get into the pits, and hopefully that's. He didn't drive back far enough to get DQ'd, so good on him for that. But yeah, that was a little sketchy. Getting
it time though.
Let's take a look back here in a second, and show you how the incident happened coming in there. I think the 12 kind of scared everybody when he got sideways. Maxwell Shade still out on the track. Last truck yet to pit. He's going to come in now on lap number 23. So he was able to stick it out a little bit longer, but not able to make it to that quarter mark. So it looks like everybody kind of going to be on the same schedule. Here's a replay of the incident coming in, and really started by Tyler Bryan here. It's not that difficult of a pit stall to get in here, but you're trying to get everything in here.
Transition, yeah, and it's that transition, right? I mean, you're on the brakes and the banking, and then you're coming down off that banking into a flat spot. You know, the pit entry there, and it's just
I mean,
hard. As much as they have rear brake here as well.
I know he got some damage on that back end that the 12 did, but man, could he got any closer to those barrels at the entry without just absolutely destroying that back end?
Yeah, that was close from being you know, worse than what it already was. I mean, if he hits that and starts spinning, I mean, 45 has nowhere to go.
Take a look at that one more time here. I mean, you see right there, just sliding right by him, the 45 right there in pit road. And then you see the 24 end up sliding and missing pit road before he comes back in. So, Joe, we talked about it. Pit stops will shake things up, and oh boy, did they. And now Maxwell Shade coming back up, but it seems like he is very slow coming out of pit lane here. Did we miss something here? Did we miss a stall? Did we miss putting fuel in? It seems like the 2 was very, very slow.
Yeah. Did he not get fuel? He got a 15-second stop.
Well, he has made it back around here. Yeah, I'm wondering if for some reason maybe he had the fuel unchecked and they did not put any fuel in that truck.
Man.
I can't imagine why else he would be running this slow all the way around the track. So that is
unfortunate.
Going to complete the first pit cycle one way or another, and we got a new leader. It is the 94 of iTuckles as he takes the lead from Big Duke. I'll show you when that pass happened right here.
Right off pit exit here for Duke.
Big Duke coming off pit road, and Tuckles that short pit by 1 lap is all it took to get him out in the lead. But you see where the gap is now. And it is Big Duke closing in on that 94. Gonna dive it down to the inside and try and retake the lead. See if he pulls any kind of slide job off the corner. Indeed he will. Gonna slide up in front of that 94. iTuckles gives him a nice little shove down that front stretch. Say, good move, but I'm here just to let you know.
Yeah.
As they head off into 1 and 2. But yeah, Big Duke looking pretty strong here, and I mean, the short pit worked out very well. I mean, you remember Big Duke had a 2-second lead over second place, and iTuckles was back in 5th when this thing started off. So that's a big gap to make up just on a 1-lap short pit. So short pitting is definitely going to pay off. But you see now in the long run, Big Duke just has a strong number 78 here tonight.
Yeah, he does, and I mean. Also, I mean, you got your pit lap time involved in that as well. So it's like the getting in and off of pit road can affect your time so much as well. I mean, it's such a drastic ability to, you know, have that, not have what happened with the 12 there, you know, I mean, and spinning and coming down the pit road.
And what's crazy is we bring up the pit times here. This is, as you see, this is the pit lane time. This is, or not the pit lane time. This is their pit time. And you see Big Duke a little bit longer than iTuckles by about 0.2 of a second. But when you look at the total pit time from the time they entered the pits to the time they exited, Big Duke with a nice margin, about 3 seconds, 3.5 seconds difference. That's a huge amount of time to gain. And I mean, you put that in perspective. If they had the same amount of time when they came out right there, iTuckles would have had a 3.5 second more of a gap. So this short pit is huge tonight, just by 1 lap. So, I mean, you wonder how this thing is going to play out. And, you know, for that last pit stop, you got to think about coming in maybe 2-3 laps earlier than everybody else. And it's going to give you a big advantage.
Yeah, I wonder if that last stop, we'll see some guys just take some 2-tire situation depending on how these left sides are wearing. It looks like the 45 has called it a night after that pit road incident.
Yeah, Captain Killam is going to be done and finish out there in 16th place. Still got 10 drivers on the lead lap, but man, are they spread out. Somehow, Francisco Villarreal stays on the lead lap after spinning and literally driving backwards just to get into the pits. But he's able to stay on the lead lap, but only just as the track map back up there for you. And he is within tow of some of these drivers here and able to maybe pick up some positions or at least get some kind of draft as he's hanging out right behind Scott Gilroy right now, who is currently running in 9th. As we'll take a rundown of your top 10 here. Big Duke in the lead, started outside front row, and he has been the leader pretty much from the rip. Tuckle started on the pole, but technically went all the way to the back of the field and has made his way all the way up. Led a couple laps here during the pit cycle, and now he is running in 2nd. Chris Gutierrez started in 4th place, had a huge scare in turn number 1, lap number 1. Got that thing wicked sideways, somehow saved it, somehow kept it off the wall and everybody else, and has regrouped and is now back up to 3rd place. Kyle Wilson doing a great job here, started back there in 8th place for the start of this race and now up into 4th. Tyler Bryan was up there battling in 2nd place, trying to hang on to Big Duke in the beginning. He runs in 5th. Rest of your top 10, you got Matthew Hott in 6th place, was another one on that lap 1, turn 1 that got sideways on the apron and was able to save it. Austin Smith here running in 7th place, up 3 spots after starting 10th. Charles Aber, good run for him tonight, started in at 9th and currently is in 8th. Scott Gilroy started just outside at the top 10 in 11th, and he currently runs in at 9th. And then Francisco Villarreal right behind him, rounding out your top 10. And the last car currently on the lead lap as we're past a third of the way through this race. 35, or lap 35 right now that we are on of 100. And man, it's the racing on the track has been good. I love that we got 2, maybe even 3 different lines developing. It's going to play out nicely through the rest of this race. But pit stops. We talk about it all the time, and you wonder these drivers out there putting in so many laps, so much time on the track, looking to gain every little tenth of a second, half a tenth of a second, whatever it is, trying to find wherever that speed is on the track. Meanwhile, you could lose seconds by an error on the pit entry, an error in pits, speeding, anything like that. Forget the tenths, forget the half a tenths that you're trying to gain on the track. You can lose seconds, if not laps, by screwing up on the pits. So, Joe, why would you not put in a ton of time with pit stops? I know it's not glorious, it's not fun, it's not glamorous, but damn if you don't gain or lose a lot of time with them.
Yeah, you do. And while we're sitting here on Francisco, I mean, he's got to shift his mindset now, right? I mean, because he coming in here 2nd in points, and right now he's got to find his way back up here into the upper half of the top 10, top 5, and because if Tuckles is there, he came in here 10 points behind him, and Jonathan got the pole, which was 3 bonus points. So, he's got some work cut out for him left here to do to hold on to this 2nd place in points. And by the way, I mean, Gutierrez he's up there in 3rd. So this battle for 2nd and the points championship is not over with. But yeah, to your point, I mean, it's sometimes it just gets overlooked, right? I mean, you focus so much of your time and energy on getting the laps down, and your qualifying lap down, and then your long run laps down, and then sometimes you just overlook the pit side of it, or you just think it's not that big of a deal. I mean, like you said, it's not that difficult of a pit entry here, but it can get away from some of these guys, just like it did there with the 12 and the 45 and Francisco there. So it's something that gets overlooked sometimes, but especially on the track where you feel comfortable with most of the pit stops, and really for a lot of these guys, maybe not used to a lot of green flag pit stops, especially in the C fix where you have enough fuel to make it, and if you do pit, it's going to be under caution. So maybe there's not a lot of experience for some of these guys too in the green flag, which, you know, that was some of my problems with, you know, just getting into iRacing and stuff like that. You don't really worry about it too much until it starts causing you problems, and then you kind of focus on it a little bit to try to reel it in.
I mean, to me, it's just crazy as it looks like we're going to start our second round of pit stops here. Chris Gutierrez coming in. I mean, we've seen the mistakes that some of the guys made coming in, and obviously mistakes are going to get amplified, and you're going to notice it real quickly. But, I mean, Tuckles did make a mistake coming into the pits, and he lost 3.5 seconds to Big Dude.
Yeah.
I mean, pit stops are so pivotal, and, you know, I'm not saying, you know, don't spend any time out there on the track and you know, try and figure out how to pick up those tenths or, you know, hundredths of a second out there on the track. But at the end of that long run, when you practice that long run and finally come in, maybe cut that long run short by 5 laps and spend those last 5 laps coming into the pits, going back out there, getting back up to full speed, coming to pits again 2-3 times on those worn tires, because you can't just go out there. You can't hop into session, you know, turn a lap and then try and come into pits. It's gonna be nice fresh tires. Of course, you're gonna have a ton of grip. When you come in on those used tires, it's gonna feel different, and it's not gonna have as much grip slowing down. And you know, you lock up and slide into the entry there. You're gonna get an unsafe entry. You're gonna slide sideways like you see some of these guys do. You're gonna get a speeding on pits. There's so many different things that can come into play. And it's so much time that you want to be as fast as possible and really just get down to that speed limit, technically just after that line. I mean, you can speed just a little bit past that line before you have to be down to the pit road speed. So any little bit that you can gain right there is huge. I mean, you look at some of these differences right now. Like right now, Tyler Bryan, Matthew Hott, only 1.3 tenths of a second on the track. That is nothing on pit road. I mean, one little mistake, or you're going, you know, 45 instead of, or 44 instead of 45 on pit road. That's it. You make up that time. But on track here, you see how hard it is and how long Matthew Hott has been trying to get that you know, 1.5, 2 tenths of a second on Tyler Bryan. It takes forever. So it's again, it's not glamorous working on pit stops over and over again. But man, if I were coach for a day, spend half of your practice working on pit stops, and then work on the other half on trying to figure out how to drive the track. It's just so important.
Yeah, I mean, and to your point, the you know, old worn-out tires, pitting versus fresh, is such a difference. And the only way you're really going to experience that is to get out there and do it. Like, you can't really just maybe change your braking point for the pit stall, you know, your pit entry, you know, change it. No, you have to experience what it is to try to brake in that situation. You know, when you know, we got live fire. I mean, right? I mean, there's no better time to do it than in the practice session before the race, and you got other trucks around you, and the pressure's on a little bit. Oh, yeah, another one, Vincent. Another pit road entry problem.
Yep, Vincent Magana. We'll take a look and see his entry here. It looks almost similar to our last incident here. You can see straddles just a little bit too long. It's on the brake too late, and that is the barriers heading into pit road. That looked like a pretty good amount of damage. He's able to back up. Luckily, not get DQ'd himself for backing up there. Current leader has yet to make his second pit stop, Francisco Villarreal. So get a bonus point here for leading a lap. If I'm mistaken, I believe they do get one for that. So you can at least kind of cancel that out against Tuckles, since Tuckles was able to get a lap led. So here is the 24, kind of at least canceling that point out. Now with the pit road cycle here, it's going to get pretty interesting, because Tuckles once again pit 1 lap earlier than Big Duke, but 3 laps before Tuckles was Chris Gutierrez, and he is going to cycle out as your leader once Villarreal comes into the pits. And oh, by the way, he's got a 3-second lead over everybody. It's not because he took 2 tires. That short pit got him a huge advantage over the rest of the field right now. Now again, he's going to have to come in earlier than everybody else on the next stop and the next one after that. And he's going to lose some time with these guys having the fresher tires. But in the meantime, I mean, still right now as Villarreal comes in, the lead's going to transfer hands, and he's got a 2 3/4 second lead over Tuckles.
Yeah, I think what his strategy was there, I think what we're doing about 21, 22 laps per.
Yeah, that's what we're looking at, yeah.
And he kind of got in that window, and at some point you're going to have to short pit, right? So I think he's just, hey, let's go off script here and do my short pit early and not at the end, you know, and try to time it out and space it out to where when he does pit the last time, he's got enough to make it to the end and not have to like come down with like, what, 10 laps to go or something like that and run it out. Because, I mean, with this smaller field, you're going to get these long, grueling runs, so, you know, unless something crazy happens, and we've already seen several trucks spin that just be off the racing surface, so it's staying green here, so unless we have some kind of crazy accident, I mean, this thing's probably going to go wire to wire here tonight.
And listen, I mean, you can make passes on the track here. This is a very pass-friendly track. I mean, we've seen passes on the bottom and on the top. The majority, it seems like, passes have getting done on the top. Is, of course, on cue. Big Duke goes to the bottom to make a pass, but you're going to get held up a little bit. Like you see right here, Big Duke is faster than that 94, but not making a pass yet. Now he's got to try and set up a pass once again. Meanwhile, Gutierrez comes in earlier, doesn't have to worry about passing Big Duke or Ituckles here as he was running in third. Now he's at first. He got that clean air. Doesn't have to battle, doesn't have to lose time during this battle. He's out there, out front, getting that clean air, and he's losing time. You know, he is slower right now with these guys having a little bit fresher tires than him, but it's still at 2 seconds after, you know, this amount of time. I mean, he's been on lap number 40. It's now been 10, 11 laps, and he's still got a 2-second lead. So it's worth noting that the short pit here, those fresh tires absolutely are meaning a big amount here tonight.
Yeah, and he's following right behind a couple cars there and about to put Francisco a lap down, it looks like.
We move on up here. He's right behind Pagano right now. Right in front of Pagano is the 24 Francisco Villarreal. How big would that be? I mean, these guys both in the battle for the point standings here, coming down to the wire. Obviously, Villarreal, 27 points coming in tonight. For Chris Gutierrez, 21 points. But he can see that second place is within the realm of possibilities for sure. And he sees that second place guy right in front of him, just 2 cars in front of him right now, coming off of the corner. So he would love to pass him, just, you know, just to pass him for one, but for two, just to, you know, kind of let him know, like, hey, you're going to have to work tonight to keep that second place.
Yeah, and I mean, he's kind of got his, the opportunity has presented itself, right? So, I mean, he had to do some work here tonight anyway, so now that Francisco's had a little bit of a rough start here, rough first half to this race, I gotta start to take advantage of it, you know?
It looks like the tire wall is, the tire wall is starting to finally come in here a little bit for Chris Gutierrez. But I mean, Joe, he's made it almost a full pit stop in the lead just by having that short pit. I mean, we're on lap 54 here. We're only maybe, you know, a good 10 laps maybe until the next round of pit stops, and for Gutierrez, probably only another 6 laps or so, 6-7 laps that until he's gonna be coming into pit. So he's almost been out front for his entire pit cycle right here. So this is going to get interesting how this thing is going to play out, because again, he's going to be coming in earlier than the rest of the field, so it's going to be another short pit. He's going to have those fresh tires once again. Right now he is going to be passed for the lead though. Ituckles down to the bottom for the lead. I'm sure Gutierrez is going to try and fight with all his might, but just got to come up short right now. And Tuckles now getting loose off the corner is going to allow Gutierrez at least hold on to second for now. And this is his plan. He's coming to the end of his tire cycle, so he wants to try and wear these guys out a little bit too. He doesn't want them to check out once they get past him, because they're going to be coming in for some pit stops soon. Another battle back here for 4th and 5th. Pat Wilson on the bottom in that 333. Up on top is Matthew Hott, trying to work his way back up here. You see the big run off the corner, diving down the inside here, and Hott going to send it in on the bottom, and easy as you like right there, moving himself into 4th place. But still a battle up front. Ituckles has taken the lead, but again, 1 lap earlier did the 94 pit compared to the 78, and Big Duke has not been able to get around him this time.
No, he hasn't. He tried a couple times on the bottom there, but just couldn't quite get it done. He's going to go to the bottom again here.
I almost feel like he's kind of waiting and hoping and wondering if that 94 is going to make a mistake, but no mistakes so far from Jonathan Tuckness on that top on this run here. As we near lap number 57 is the one we're on right now, so we're on the back half of this this race already. And Joe, it's been a pretty good one, and Pit Road has been telling all the stories here tonight.
Yeah, it has. I mean, just going down the top 10 here, I mean, storylines, even a couple of guys who are a lap down here now, and 45 who's out of the race. The 94 gets in the wall right there. And I'm wondering if the 78, I mean, I know he's trying to get around the 94. Look, oh, he couldn't clear.
Big old slide job right there. 94 now going to go to the bottom, use that side draft, and he's going to try and do the same thing. Sends it into turn number 3. It looks like Big Duke going to try the crossover here. Gets down to the bottom. The 94 is going to wash up as you do. Gets into the wall a little bit. Big Duke keeping it off of him. And it looks like that 78 is going to finally make and clear for first place, as he's going to go back down to the bottom. But now here comes
the 78 there was, you know, going low in 1 and 2. The 94 running that wall. If the 94 gets into the wall and you're right on him, the 78 has nowhere to go. You know, it has to try to check up and cut it left and get around him. So, I mean, it's kind of a chess match here. You know, trying to stay out of each other's way. And if the 94 does get into the wall, you know, the 78 just doesn't plow into him because it's just the checkup is so massive here if you really get stuck to that wall.
The 94 just got an amazing run out of the corner that last time through 1 and 2 and was able to make the pass. You see a Big Duke trying to make the pass again, but not going to happen, as Tuckles going to stay on that high side. And really, Tuckles, it seems like he gets a really good run on the bottom for 3 and 4, and you see him trying to pinch down that 78 a little bit here, make him wear those tires out. It's working. Well, whatever he's doing right now is working. He's going to keep that 78 behind. Chris Gutierrez, meanwhile, just keeps it inside those barrels, and he's in for his next pit stop. Should be the penultimate pit stop for him. Should be one more on the table before this thing is over, as he pits here on lap number 61. We'll see if that kind of forces the hand here of these leaders, as you know they had to have seen how big of a lead he had last time by pitting 3 laps earlier. See if these guys decide to come in maybe a little bit earlier this time.
Yeah, I wonder if they'll kind of shift their strategy here a little bit. It looks like Chris is going every 20 laps instead of going like 22, 23 with some of these guys. And then still having to, you know, make that extra pit stop, so.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense. You split this thing up exactly evenly. You're going to have, ultimately, the freshest tires throughout the entire race. You might not have them, you know, within certain stints. You may not, you know, exactly have them, but, you know, ultimately, you know, if you're not out there running 23 laps, yeah, you may have a nice fresh set for the last 10 laps of the race. But if you can cut that thing up into quarters here and have the fastest tires when you're coming out and everybody's still out there on the track, you're going to gain a bunch of time. So I'm liking the strategy here from the 47 so far. But we still got a decent way to go here. There's still 38 laps here on tap. But Joe, it's the final race of the season. It's been some great races so far. I think it's about time to crank these boys up and give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
Let's do it.
sights and sounds of the YESCAR Truck Series here on CRN. As you see, Francisco Villarreal would love to be passing right now for position. Unfortunately, he is passing just to get back on the lead lap. He has been able to make up some positions, up to 7th place right now. But where he's seeing Chris Gutierrez, he can't be happy. Gutierrez right now leading this race, and he's got Ituckles running him down once more. 26 laps left in this race. You remember last time these tandem here of Ituckles and Big Duke were able to catch him right about at lap number 51. So kind of right in the middle of that stint. So Gutierrez again has lasted a little bit longer out front. He's going to give up that high side to Tuckles, who has got the fresher tires right now by 5 laps. So 5-lap newer tires here. Gutierrez is going to try and fight, make him use them up here a little bit. But ultimately, he knows his battle is just getting in and getting that early pit stop. Now, I mean, if you're Tuckles here, you see that you can make it for at least, 20 laps here. And, maybe even, 22 laps for this last stint. Do you dare come in early here? Do you come in with maybe 22 laps to go and really put a squash on Gutierrez's chance for the win? Because he's been coming in kind of right on that mark. He came in on lap 60, came in on lap 40, came in on lap number 61, kind of right around that 20 lap mark. If Ituckles decides to come in at the same time and maybe 1 lap earlier, it kind of takes Gutierrez out of the mix.
Yeah, I think it'd be interesting to see what the 94 does here, because obviously the 47 is going to pit first, and then I'd be looking to see what kind of pit time he had, if he just does do 2 or if he takes 4, and then I could alter my strategy at that point, like you mentioned, and come down maybe a lap or 2 after he does, and then fill it up, and I know I'm good to the end there, and then kind of either do the 4 or 2 tire strategy depending on what the 47 does here. So the 94 is in a pretty decent spot here. He can kind of wait and see what the 47 does, and then kind of play off of him and maybe counter his strategy of what the 47 is doing.
I feel like the 94 may have enough speed as it is. Even if the 47 decides to take 2 tires, I think he may have enough speed tonight to even run him down. But if you're Big Duke, I mean, are you kind of stuck with the strategy of needing to pit and only take 2 tires? It looked like he was thinking about coming in the pits that time and then decided to go by here. It looks like most of the time off 3 and 4. But are you kind of stuck and have to do a 2-tire pit stop just to have a chance at this race at this point?
Yeah, it looks like he's lost the 94 here 2.5 seconds. So he's been pretty much right on the 94 all night, and then now we get to later stage of this race here, and he's lost him quite a bit. So he may have to rethink his strategy here and go off of something different. Big impact there. Oh, looks like he's going to come down pit road.
And how about this? Oh, Big Duke loses it. I was going to say he kept Gutierrez from coming into the pits, and he came in and pits himself, but he loses it on pit lane, and that is going to be the end of the chances, barring a caution for Big Duke. But now Gutierrez was forced to stay out and maybe an extra lap longer than he wanted to. He's got a little damage on that rear, but I mean that's kind of minor. But now the Ituckles decide to come in at this time, and again with the squash on, but no, he is going to stay out there. Gutierrez is going to make his way into pits now, getting it loaded up, locking up those rear tires, gets it down to pit road speed. We'll take a look, and we'll stay here on board with the 47 and see what the strategy is. 20 laps left in this race.
Man, I wonder if the 47 was trying to pit there, but
yeah, that's what it looked like. It looked like he wanted to pit, and Big Duke either wanted to pit with him or didn't want him to pit. Either way, he got him a shot in the back end. You see the right side's going up. 2 tires, 2-tire stop for the 47. Now we'll move our eyes over here to Ituckles as he comes around to complete another lap. 19 laps to go right now. Ituckles in the lead, Tyler Bryan in second. Austin Smith is going to move up into 3rd place, as Matthew Hott is currently in the pits as well.
And now the 94's been running the high line most of this run. He's down here in the bottom of 3 and 4. Looks like he's going to be coming to pit road. And he is.
Trying to come in very late. And that's an example right there of getting everything you can coming into pit lane. Great entry there by the 94.
Everything you got. Everything you got.
Now again, I mean, it's 18 laps to go. I still... You can take 2 tires and kind of really put yourself in a good spot here if you're the 94, but I wouldn't mind taking those 4 tires. You just feel comfortable. You've been running the fastest laps all night with those 4 tires. And there you go. 2 tires on the right, 2 more tires on the left. He is going to go ahead and not worry about that 47 strategy. He's going to come out. Gutierrez is going to make the pass right now. Going through 1 and 2, you see the pass right there as Ituckle's down on the apron, but he's only got 2 tires, and he's got 18 laps to hold him off. That's going to be quite a margin here, as currently it looks like the margin of Ituckle's is only 1.5 seconds, so a big gain on that last run there from Ituckle's. It's not going to take him long before he's right back on the back bumper of Chris Gutierrez, but Francisco Villarreal, man, I know you can do rain dances. Can he do a caution dance if you're the 24? That's about the only chance he's got to really get back into this mix, as he's currently leading.
Yeah, it looks like Duke's back down pit road, so his night's probably done for here. Try to get a win here tonight, which is kind of some good news for the 24 here, because that's going to give him another spot, right? I mean, and put himself up into this top 10 if he can, keep it going here.
Looks like Duke is stopped up here, but he's kind of in between stalls, so not sure if he missed his pit box or what the case is. Maybe ran out of fuel, but either way, the 24 right here, I mean, I don't think he's trying to pull in on the fuel strategy, is he? The last pit on lap number 66.
66?
I mean, he can't make it to the end. That's for sure, but I mean, is he
12 to go?
Is he maybe going for a gas and go here? I mean, he's got Gutierrez coming up right now from behind, but again, I mean, he finishes in top 5. I think he's safe to hold on to second place, unless my calculations are off. It seems like he may be able to hold on to the second place if he just finishes in the top 5. Maybe a gas and go for this last pit stop could do it for the 24.
Yeah, I mean, he knows, like I said, the win is out here tonight, but try to maximize everything you can, and every point's going to matter here, and the further he gets up closer to this top 10 or top 5, improves his chances to hold on to second here in this points battle.
Ultimately, the battle for the lead is right here as the 47 gets way loose again in turns 1 and 2. It's going to be easy pass for the 94 of Ituckles. Jonathan Tuckus to the lead of this race. And barring a caution, I think that might be all she wrote for the win here tonight. Ituckles has been very fast here tonight. Qualified on the pole, went to the back of the field to start, drove his way up through the field, and took a little bit to battling with Big Duke through the middle part of this race, but Big Duke had some issues on pit road, and looks like he has I think it's called him. No, he is actually back there on the track, but back in 12th place. Several laps down, 4 laps down currently. So we're left with only 8 drivers on the lead lap, but I don't think that's going to last too long, as Smith is not too far ahead of Ituckles. Now, Smith did already make his pit stop, as well, as we only got, it's like 3 drivers left. Francisco Villarreal, who now comes into the pits, Charles Abert and Scott Gilroy yet to come down pit road to make their final pit stop. Let's take a look and see what Francisco is going to do here on his last pit stop. Currently 12 laps to go. I mean, these tires aren't going to blow. They're not going to be done for. So you can definitely make them to the end. It's just how much pace you're going to be giving up to everybody else through those last few laps. I mean, Villarreal already down to 7th place. I think he's got to at least take right side tires here.
Yeah. I would probably just do rights and go.
And there it is. That is the call. You're the crew chief. He's gonna head out there, but man, he's got a lot to make up here. Again, Abert and Gilroy now coming to the pits. And I think actually I think he's gonna pick up those 2 positions, because I'm pretty sure he was ahead of them on the track and gonna pass the 14 there at Pagano lap car on the way out. Nicey Abert and Gilroy into the pits. We'll take a look. Both of them at least taking right side tires. And it looks like they're both going to take 4. So Villarreal now coming down the front stretch. He is going to move into 6th place. Does he have enough? I mean, 6 points right now. I mean, Ituckle's in the lead. If it was Gutierrez, it'd be close. I think it'd be tied, unless I'm mistaken. Well, no, actually, oh yeah, Gutierrez qualified in 4th. That's right, but this is close. This is tight for the points, and it's what we like to see. I mean, Ituckles came in 10 points behind, already gained 3 points by getting the pole, so he's up 7 points right now. Is Francisco Villarreal on Ituckles, and currently he's up 1 point.
Man, this guy's gonna be really close.
I mean, it's,
I'm not sure we're gonna get an official word.
Yeah, that's my that's my unofficial calculations. But I'm seeing that Francisco Villarreal is currently up 1 point right now. So if he loses 1 position to Abert or Gilroy in these final few laps here, again, Villarreal only taking 2 tires and the other 2 behind him taking 4. He's got some good pace out here. It's only 8 laps to go. He's got a 9-second buffer on Abert, but you never know. I mean, it takes one little mistake here. It could be all turned on its head, and that's how tight this points battle is from 2nd on down. I mean, it's a good amount of money that is going to be shifting around here in this final race of the season. But it's been a fun one, Joe. I enjoyed this little 16-race season, a little bit of playoffs, a little bit of regular season, a little bit of money on the line, a lot of bit of racing. Yeah,
it was an interesting setup, and I like the playoff format and everything, and then the way that the points were structured. I actually didn't know how I would like that, but as the season progressed here, I really did enjoy how top 10 only got points, and then the bonus points for the clean races and stuff like that. I mean, it was a different way to do it, and I like things being done differently. So it was cool to be able to broadcast it, and then the racing these guys put on here provided some really good finishes, some drama for us to try to sort through and then comment on, which you listen to us on Wednesday nights. That's what we love, is some good old drama.
Storylines.
So it's been a really storylines, and then it's been a really good fun year.
Absolutely. I did think for a second that I forgot about the bonus points for clean driver, but I don't believe these playoff drivers get the bonus points in the playoffs here. So because I was going to say that would really flip everything on its head, and if people got some clean races out here, because it's been pretty clean out here tonight. No cautions. We certainly got close a couple times, starting on the first lap in the first corner. Gutierrez potentially throwing his chance at 2nd place in the points out the window right away by getting really sideways, but a great job saving it. And then later on in the race, Pagano and I believe it was Robert Knox getting into the walls simultaneously, but one on the inside wall, one on the outside wall, and stayed green. We've been green ever since. It's been 95 laps so far. We still got 4 more laps to go, and this thing is going to be all in the hands right now of Ituckles. He's got a 6.2-second lead over Chris Gutierrez in 2nd place. Matthew Hott running in 3rd. Tyler Bryan running in 4th. And then rounding out your top 5 is Austin Smith.
He's going to run for the 12 to get back up here in the 4th after that first pit road blunder that he had, and able to drive this thing back up to 12. He didn't lose that much time. He lost a little bit of time on that, but he was able to kind of keep it going there and not have any kind of penalty or anything, and kind of keep pace with these guys. And I know he's 17 seconds off the leader right now, but man, just
you slide sideways like that and nearly destroy your back end on the barrels coming into pit lane. And at the end of the race, you're still only 17 seconds behind in a completely clean race. That's a win right there. I mean, that's a heck of a top 5 here, and a great drive by Tyler Bryan for sure. I completely agree with you there. 2 laps to go here at Homestead Miami. Ituckles in the lead. Gutierrez, Hott, Bryan, and Smith for your top 5. Villarreal is in 6th place, and by our calculations here, or at least my calculations, I won't drag Joe down if I'm wrong, is showing that Villarreal will get second place in the point standings by 1 point over Ituckles. And then Gutierrez is going to finish in fourth place in the point standings. Again, this is all unofficial as we're on our final lap of the season here. Ituckles started on the pole, went to the back, drove through the field, took a little bit of battling with Big Duke, but that got sorted out and got sorted out quickly here. And the 94 is going to drive his way to a nice, resounding 8-second victory here tonight at Homestead Miami. Your winner, Jonathan Tuckness in the 94. Chris Gutierrez drove a fine race and really, I guess, calmed the breathing down after turn 1, lap 1, and he's going to bring it home into second place. Matthew Hawk going to come home in third. That is your podium with Tyler Bryan bringing it home in fourth. Austin Smith coming around at the final corner here, and he is going to bring it home and finish in the top 5. A good run for the 33 here tonight. Up 5 spots, starting in 10th. He's going to finish inside the top 5. Francisco Villarreal did what he had to do, and he is going to finish his thing in at 6th place tonight. Again, unofficially, from what we're gathering here. We'll get a full rundown of everyone here tonight, but man, pit road and more importantly, pit entry, it provided all the drama here tonight.
Yeah, all the time gained and lost. I mean, that's where the race was won and lost right there. I mean, some of these guys had some trouble getting in and into the road down and on the pit road safely. And some guys mastered it and nailed it. I mean, the 94, not only was he fast on track, but I mean, super aggressive on his entry and was able to keep it straight and keep it woed up enough to be under speed there and really capitalize on all that and get this win here tonight.
The teammates here of Ituckles and Michael Funkhauser Jr. We will celebrate. I'm kind of wondering what's going on with that 94 right there. That the right rear tire doesn't seem like it's spinning the way it should be. I don't know what exactly is going on there. There we go. At least it spins when he lights it up, but yeah, something seems a little wrong in that right rear there. Need to get that checked out.
Going too fast.
But a good win here tonight for Jonathan Tuckness. We'll try and get these drivers in here for their interviews. We'll also try and bring in Big Duke and see if we can kind of put a bow on this season, and we talk about anything that's going on in the future for the YESCAR Truck Series or any other series that's going to be coming up. But a good run here. Again, Ituckles, your winner here tonight, as we'll take a look at final results for the race. And Ituckles, your winner by 8.4 seconds. Chris Gutierrez in second. Matthew Hott, Tyler Bryan, Austin Smith, your top 5. Francisco Villarreal, Charles Abert, Scott Gilroy, Michael Funkhauser Jr., and Kyle Wilson for your top 10. Running out the rest of the field is going to be Maxwell Shade, Big Duke, Paul Lawson, Robert Knox, Vincent Pagano, and Captain Kellum. So Joe, while I'm rounding these guys up, if you want to try and reach out to Big Duke, see if we can get the see if we can get all these guys in here for their
there we go.
Their due interviews, and it's like we're just waiting for Matthew Hott, and then
we'll
try and get these things going. Well, we'll go ahead and start this thing off, and we'll circle back to Matthew Hott if we get him in here and get a chance to. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and bring in
Matthew Hott may have snuck himself up into the top 5 in the points here. He was only 4 behind Duke coming into tonight.
Well, we'll go ahead and bring in our finishers here tonight. We'll go ahead and start off with second place, Chris Gutierrez. And Chris, it was a heck of a run by you out here tonight, and it looked like, I mean, I was liking your strategy for quite some time. I thought you had a really good strategy working there, taking that short pit, because, man, that short pit here tonight was huge when it came to time.
Yeah, for sure. Just a little bit tighter than what I like for Homestead, and I couldn't make anything in traffic, so about the first run I knew I was going to try something, and last stop I took 2 instead of 4, and Tuck took 4. If I'd known he was going to take 4, I would have taken 4 and just been heads up with him. He probably still would have beat me. He was faster than me most of the night, but oh well. I mean, second sucks, but finishing second to guys that are significantly higher I rating than me, I can live with it. Making progress, learning every time. I'll get there.
Yeah, I mean, first off, the strategy, I mean, how early did you decide that that was going to be a strategy? Was it always going to be a call of kind of pitting every 20 laps and kind of just seeing where everything fell?
No, it was actually really at the first. We did the first stop. We did the first stop, and I'm like, I don't remember exactly where we stopped on the first stop, but I think I knew I could go about 22 to 23 because I hadn't practiced. But I just told my spotter, I was like, I'm gonna try at 20. And then when I noticed it got me up to third, I'm like, well, heck, we're just gonna do this every time. And there was a few times I thought maybe it was gonna work out, but they were usually catching me with about 4 to go in the stage, so to speak. So I figured if I took 2, I thought that would be like, I figured that would give me enough of a gap from a time standpoint that I'd be okay. But I think the problem is I don't know how long it takes to take 4 tires with 8 gallons, but I think that might have been my mistake there, is that it didn't really matter. But I did the same thing at Kansas and it won me the race, so I don't know. Chuck was just faster. I mean, I knew I didn't have the fastest. I wasn't the fastest guy tonight. I was just trying to make something happen. So the fact that I almost wrecked on the first lap and we came back for the second, I'm happy.
That's exactly what I was going to bring up next. We talked about the end now. Let's talk about the beginning. First lap, first turn. It didn't really seem like you caught a seam or anything like that. It just seemed like that truck was not ready. It was not awake, and that thing just it woke you up for sure.
Yeah, you'd think I'd learn because I've done that a few times in different leagues. I go into turn 1 on the outside and it just swaps, and I wasn't even particularly driving it hard. So, yeah, definitely going to go in with kids' gloves from now on because I'm freaking I mean, I like making the highlight reel, but I'm tired of that. I'm tired of that.
Well, plenty of a TV time for you here tonight from lap 1 on, for sure. So congrats on a good run here tonight, a good run in the season, too. I mean, you finish up there from our estimations, just off and had a chance at second place there for a little bit with Villarreal having the early issues, and especially having the issues coming into the pits right there. But looks like you're going to come up maybe a little bit short, possibly 3rd or 4th in the point standings unofficially. But all in all, how do you feel like the season went for you?
Yeah, season went good. I think we were talking. I think I got John by 1 point for 3rd. So if I got 3rd, great. 4th, I mean, my goal was top 5 in points, so we definitely accomplished that. Yeah, season went well. Just there's a couple of races that got away from me. Atlanta got away from me getting run over coming in the pits. That was unfortunate. And then we left some points on the table at Daytona. We kept it clean the whole race. And then on the last lap, I dodged a wreck. And it didn't. Well, it looked like it was gonna be a wreck, and then it wasn't a wreck. But I'd already lifted, thinking everybody's gonna pile up, and nobody lifts on the last lap. So, yep. But I was trying to be the smart guy there. So I don't know. Maybe I'll rethink that next season. But yeah, no, overall pretty good. I wish Martinsville hadn't gotten away from me. I think I could have held John off on one more green white checker if my shifter hadn't decided to malfunction. That was unfortunate.
Well, either way, it was fun watching this season, and put up a lot of good battles out here, and a lot of strategy calls that kind of left us scratching our heads at first, but they almost paid off, and a lot of instances, and the same thing here tonight. So congrats on the second place here tonight. Who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Yeah, give my thanks to my spotter and my crew chief, John Napier. He did a great job, and he's good because I get myself in trouble when I try to strategize myself. So having somebody to kind of run it back and forth is good because he'll tell me if I'm being an idiot. I'm like, that's not going to work, Chris. So I appreciate that, and appreciate Duke putting this league on. We had fun. I think we're going to have even better next year. It was really fun racing with Jonathan and Francisco, Tyler, all these guys. I think as we got through the season, we kind of understood each other's styles more, and it got better. Thanks to you guys for broadcasting it, and thanks to everybody tuning in, and I hope everybody has a good Thanksgiving and gets to spend time with their family and friends, because that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. And yeah, sometimes you need that guy in your ear just to, no, that's dumb. Just keep driving. I'll tell you what to do. So yeah. You definitely got a good combo there. So congrats again on the second place. We'll let you go celebrate, and hopefully we'll see you sometime soon. Yeah, I'll be back next season for sure.
Congrats, Chris.
Thanks. Bye.
That is the second place here tonight, the 47 of Chris Gutierrez. Winner here tonight is going to be Jonathan Tuckness, Tuckles, and the 94. Joe, why don't you go ahead and take our winner here tonight?
Hey, John, you got a copy?
I'm here, boss.
Hey, man, what a fantastic drive here tonight. You got the pole, and I'm not sure what happened at the start, but you got put to the back and drove this thing to the front, and was able to get around Chris there late in the race. He was kind of on a different strategy as everybody else. Was there any kind of altering strategy after you seen what he was doing, or was it just stick to the plan and see how it unfolds?
I didn't get to pay attention enough to see who was on 2 and who took 4 tires like I wanted to. I intended to take 2 tires on the second stop and get a bigger gap, have more time to save fuel if I needed to, and I realized we didn't need to, so I didn't want to take a chance of taking 2 and being a little off pace. What I can tell you is if I had taken 2, Chris and I would have been side by side and probably split this race about 0.000 at the line, because that's the only reason I beat him was he took 2 and I took 4. So I'm glad I took 4, but had I taken 2, it probably would have worked out a little bit better for Chris, you know?
Did you kind of shorten up that last pit stop? Because we were maybe wondering if you guys were gonna come down with like 15 or less to go, and maybe just do the 2 tires and go. Did you change it at that point, or was that kind of the plan all along?
I had the math wrong in my head, and I didn't realize that it was a 4-tire, 4-pit stop at 100 laps. My brain wasn't calculating that, and I'm in the Discord with Mike Funkhauser, and he's like, yeah, man, this is the strategy. So the first time we pit, I don't even know what lap it was. I went way further than I needed to because I was like, I have to make this make sense. And he's like, dude, you can just pit every 20 laps. So once I figured that out, my goal was just look at who's around me. If I got enough gap to pit and not get run over, we're going to pit about 20 to go. So that was the only thought there, was to make sure there was space to not get run over.
Yeah, you and Duke were, pretty much on top of each other the entire race there until probably the last quarter of the race. And he had a little bit of a pit road problem. I think he got him to the back of the 47 while they were both trying to pit. But you guys were just battling back and forth there. You'd short pit or he'd short pit and pass each other back on the track. You guys were kind of on top of each other there for most of the race.
Of all the guys that I've raced with, he is one of them. And I say that as a joke, but I mean, seriously, I didn't expect a different race out of him. We were kind of door to door a couple times. I think there was maybe 1 or 2 0Xs in the 10 laps we were side by side. So there was a little give and take, but at the same time, we both knew the track position was key, and we didn't want to slow down. I was like, all right, I'll just let the guy go and see how it shakes out. You couldn't do that. So, I'm glad it was him. Glad we got some good side-by-side racing. I'll be honest with you, man. I'm really glad I got the win. I got the pole like I was hoping to. I asked for the EOL to kind of prove a point. I did that personally. I'll keep all those comments to myself, and I'm just glad we came out on top.
Yeah, you kind of did what you had to here tonight. I mean, to maximize your points. I mean, you got the pole and you got the win. I'm not sure. Do you know how the points has unfolded yet?
It looks like maybe we're locked in for P3. It's really close between me and Gutierrez. I don't know if it's a tie, and then I beat him on wins for regular season. I'm not ready to count it. I don't want to count the chickens, but P3 or P4, I did it with clean hands, and that's all I care about.
Yeah, and you had a chance at second here tonight. Francisco had a problem on that first pit stop and was just trying to play catch up the entire rest of the race after that, and was able to come back and get 6th. But I mean, if that could have went a lot worse for him, and you had a chance at second potentially here tonight.
I kind of started to think that maybe he was on a 3-stop strategy, which I think he was. But if we'd have got a caution there with 5, 6, 7 to go or whatever, he would have been the only guy with tires. So it would have really paid out dividends for him. So again, just glad it worked out for me, and we'll move on to next season.
Yeah, kind of recap this season for you and how everything progressed here, and looks like you me a finish 3rd or 4th in points here. So just give me a rundown on a season review for you.
I'll be honest with you, Joe. I would like to do that, but I will say things that would make Duke not want to have me back in this league. I'm not going to do that. I will say what I've said a couple times. I'm glad to finish in a P3 position if that's what it comes down to, with clean hands.
So, all right, I won't poke too much, but it was good. I mean, I've raced with you, a bunch, and it was fun to watch you up here and race the way you do, and put on the show that you guys do, and it was really fun to watch you guys get this season, get through it and everything, and how everything progressed. Looking forward to next season and what it entails, and I'm not sure what they're going to be doing. Well, we're going to talk to Duke after this and see what you guys have planned, but. Congrats on the win here tonight and the season. Before we let you go, anybody want to give a shout out to?
Yeah, of course. Shout out to Duke and Keith for putting this thing together. I know that there was some short notice on how things went together, but they still really did a great job building the rooms and just making sure that everybody Just kind of knew what to expect week in and week out. There's not really any hit and miss with the scheduling, all of that stuff. So I'm really proud of those guys. I've never even hosted a race, so I know there's a lot of work that goes into it, and it means a lot that they invited me here. Shout out to you guys 100%. Your broadcast is fantastic. I'd like to give a shout out to Mike Funkhauser, kind of being my protege into this race. And I kind of owe pretty much the entire season to him, so I appreciate him putting me in this truck. His wife's company on the hood, which is Desert Roads Bow Company, she makes custom bows and sells them on Etsy, and just go check that out. And of course, the McKinney Setup Shop, the best setup shop on the sim. Thanks, fellas.
Right on.
All right, that is your winner here tonight, the 94 of iTuckles, Jonathan Tuckness here, getting the win on the season finale. But we're not done with the interviews here. We need to put a Desert Rose bow on this season here, and we need to hey, like that little plug. And we're gonna go ahead and bring in the man behind the curtains here, Big Duke, and man, Big Duke. It was there. It looked like you had a chance here tonight. You had a very fast number 78, and you were kind of going back and forth there with Tuckness for quite some time. But pit road, it looked like maybe just a little error, and maybe in judgment or a non-call out there by Gutierrez coming into the pits. It looked like he slowed down to come in the pits. You tapped him a little bit, and he decided, well, I guess I'm going to come in the pits, and didn't work out too well for you.
Man, I was going in that lap anyway, and I never heard Chris. I guess Scott and them heard him, but I didn't hear him, and then I was committed, and I got into him, and then it just got me screwed up, and I wrecked. But then my little boy come downstairs, so I had to tend to them, so that's why I had to park it on pit road for a couple laps.
You were kind of wondering because I seen you like in between two pit stalls. It looked like you were kind of creeping a little bit, didn't know what was going on, but yeah. Obviously, at that point, and regardless, family comes first. So completely understand that. So
it was bittersweet anyway. But I was kind of toast, so it worked out.
Well, let's put a wrap on the season. First, I guess let's talk about your season here. You start off with the win in the season opener. You competed in a lot of races here this season, and you know maybe had a few wins on the table, or at least chances. It's just a ton of talent here in the field. It makes it a little tough to rack up wins for sure. But I mean, how do you look at your season as a whole?
As a whole, I think we did okay. There was some good highlights and some lowlights that I had. Personally, I think I did okay. As a whole, there's some improvement that we could certainly do, but we had some flashes of some really good stuff. So certainly a foundation to build upon, and as we kind of grow this thing and develop it out a little bit more.
Well, pay no attention to pit road entry here tonight. Barring that, it was a fantastic race by everybody. I mean, the pit road entry definitely wanted its time and its due light here on the broadcast. As it seemed like that's where all the action was at pit road entry. But I mean, it's got to feel good. You had 16 cars out here for the season finale, and you guys go green to checkered.
Yeah, it's fantastic, man. That's a kind of a tricky car track combo there right off the bat. It's pretty slick, so it's nice that everybody kind of kept it together, and we got to race it out. That was a lot of fun. Hopefully the show was good for you guys.
Absolutely. I mean, the show all season was good for us. I had a blast up here in the booth. I know Joe had a blast up here in the booth as well, putting on this series. So, I mean, let's talk about the brighter side of it now, the broader side of it, the series itself. How do you feel like the series went this season? Do you feel like it was a success? I mean, you guys had a lot going on. It wasn't just as easy as here's your 10 race schedule. Go ahead and run it out and go from there. I mean, you had regular season championship, you had playoffs, you had money going every race. There was a lot going on behind the scenes, and I know as a fellow league owner, just running a league can be daunting at times. But you had a little bit more going on here. So how do you feel like everything went out for you?
Yeah, everything went great. It was a little hectic here and there. I'm kind of glad it's wrapped up. But yeah, you're right. It's running a league is not as easy as one would think that it could be, especially when there's money involved, and there's quite a bit more money involved than was invested. So there was a lot at stake. I think we paid out about $4,000 more than what we took in. So all good.
Well, before we get to any talks about next season or anything like that, we're gonna keep you in the booth here. We're gonna bring in our third place finisher here tonight. Looks like he was able to finally hop in here. The 17 of Matthew Hott. Matthew, good run for you here tonight. It got a little hairy, a little sketchy right on that first lap, and you had a little bit of a slide down to the bottom, but you're able to save it. Joe, why don't you go ahead and take the interview here with Matthew?
Hey, Matthew, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Hey, man. Yeah, like Carl said there, you had like kind of a lap one scare, but you were able to gather it, and then kind of just stay up with these guys, and ended up third here tonight. How do you think you did here tonight? And talk me through your race here.
Gotcha. Yeah, I had a little bit of unfortune there at the beginning, and then got a little fortunate there as far as point standing goes with the issue Duke had there entering pit, and then I think he had his kid came downstairs or whatnot, and he had to deal with that. So that greatly benefited me in the points. I jumped him, so I got into the top 5. But I'll make sure Duke gets compensated for that because it was kind of stuff out of his control. But yeah, going through the race, it was just kind of trying to do math on the fly, doing 100 laps green, and yeah, came out third. I got a pretty big gap after that lap one kind of spin, trying to get below Chris, and I didn't even hardly touch the brake, and that thing just kicked out on me on my slow down, just trying to go low, and yeah, ran through the grass as you all saw, and but just stuck with it, kept going, yeah, and got a little fortunate there at the end for as far as the season points go.
Yeah, I seen that at the tail end of the race there, that you were only a couple points behind Duke there, and I was like, oh man, he's gonna have a chance here to get up into the top 5 here, and I guess you did do that and was able to get 5th there. Or are you the one doing the points?
Yes, sir.
You got the final standings?
I do. We got
I had a racer on that thing.
Yeah, that's where we had a few. As you probably saw in the Discord chat, a few disagreements of whether or not we were actually counting 0x and lead lap points, but it turns out we're just counting qualify and race points. So we had Helsel winning the league with 40. Francisco was second with 33, which is very impressive for only joining partial of the schedule. And Chris and Tuckness were tied for third with 30 points, and I'd imagine the tiebreaker might be season wins.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens there, and then me. But yeah, all in all, it was good. I can't thank everybody enough.
Yeah, it was a good season from everybody. A good race here from you tonight, and to be able to get third here and finish the season strong. So congrats on the third here tonight. Anybody to give a shout out to or thanks to?
Absolutely, yeah, of course. Thank you two gentlemen for commentating this all year. I love going back and watching the broadcast back. It's a fun little thing to do here after the race, break it down. Thanks to Big Duke and all the sponsors. I know Duke probably has a ton of money in this, and the sponsors donate money to hand out prize money. So it's bittersweet because I won't know what to do, with my Wednesday evenings here. But I think Duke's probably happy that it's over and can move on to doing some more fun stuff. Maybe not as high stress, however you want to put that.
That's where all the fun is.
What is
you need to stress a little bit.
And maybe your Wednesdays will be a little more stress-free, but yeah, like a little bittersweet that it's over with. But I'm sure you can probably find something on Wednesday nights to do, and we'll talk to him about what's going to happen on the horizon here. So congrats, and maybe we'll see you here in the future.
Sounds good. Thank you all.
Mm-hmm.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 17 of Matthew Hott. So now we'll go back to you, Big Duke. Eyes on the horizon. What do we got coming for you guys? I mean, are you taking a little break here? You got anything for you, for Keith? Anything on the horizon here for the YESCAR series?
Yeah. So we're gonna take not necessarily a break. We're gonna do some just mini stock. Oh God. Sorry, I'm in the middle of an official.
That explains that. That explains that all right there.
I got way free in this try to see fixed. But so we're gonna take a week off here, get through Thanksgiving, and then run some mini stock series. But it's gonna be non-broadcasted, non-officiated. It's just gonna be like a fixed official series, and at the end of the week, whoever is leading the points in that series will get a hoodie.
Nice, very nice.
Or some sort of a merch.
And then what about for the series itself? You guys looking at maybe 2025 for a revival for season 2?
Yeah, we're probably gonna create like a moon car type deal, and see where it goes from there.
All right, buddy. Well,
Not 100% sure yet, but I think that's what it's gonna be.
I'm sure we'll be in touch. We'll see how everything plays out one way or another. But I do want to send a thank you from the CRN family to you guys for giving us the opportunity to jump on board with you guys. Like I said, it's been fun. And Joe, what do you got for Big Duke here?
Man, I'm just thankful that you were able to, let us do this broadcast, and it's been fun. I mean, being up here in the booth, watching you guys, you and Tuckness and Tyler and Chris. I mean, I've raced with all you guys before, and it's fun to be up here, be in the booth, and watch what you guys put on a show. So thank you for that. And if you guys do get the 87s fired up, I will definitely be there on track with you guys. So hopefully you guys get those 87s fired up, and we can get out there on the track and do some battling.
Yes, sir. Sounds great.
I'll be the first one to apologize for you on that. I'll bring somebody else in the booth, and we'll make sure we make fun of him a little bit for you.
What's that?
I said I'll be the first one to apologize for Joe being on the track. I'll get somebody else in the booth, and we'll make fun of him for sure.
Oh, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's going to be a madness.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you get to your official race. I want to thank you once again, and we'll go ahead and let you get to it.
Thank you, boys. I appreciate it. And anybody needs a new or used car, KeithSaysYes.com. You can save $1,000 by mentioning Big Duke Stream. Delivers nationwide. Pick up your trade nationwide as well. So new or used cars, KeithSaysYes.com's got you covered.
Absolutely, buddy. We'll go ahead and let you get out of here. And hopefully we'll be talking to you soon. And in the meantime, happy Thanksgiving and enjoy the holidays.
Yes, sir. Thank you, boys.
That is the man behind the curtains here of the YESCAR Truck Series, the man that kind of runs everything, runs the whole show here. But the people that kind of keep the lights on here, want to give them their shout outs. Kohr Crab Supplies, Keep Digging, MVV Travel Co, Drop Gear Racing, GTR Simulator, Desert Rose Bow Company, Cookies for Kid Cancer, and of course, KeithSaysYes.com, as Big Duke mentioned. Check him out in Hurricane, West Virginia, Huntington, West Virginia, or check him out on KeithSaysYes.com. Mention Big Duke Stream, and get yourself $1,000 off a new or used vehicle. Excuse me. As that's going to put as I mentioned before, and I'll say it again, it's going to put a Desert Rose bow on the end of this season. It's been a fun one out here tonight. I love me some Homestead Miami, and it did not disappoint at all. It was a great run here tonight. 100 laps, a green flag. Just don't talk to those barrels at the end of pit road, because they were certainly hungry here tonight. But hopefully everyone out there enjoyed the race here tonight, and enjoy everything that CRN has to offer by hitting that like and subscribe. But for myself and Joe Sullivan here from the CRN booth, we'll see you at the track.